Hi there. Thank you so much for being here for today's Assemble This video. I'm all about the watercolor and this really soft and lovely look for a summertime wedding card. I'm going to be doing some watercolor on cardstock today. So I'm prepping up my palette. I just have a mixed media mat, put some distress inks down, and then squirted a little bit of water on each color. I'm going to be picking up that color with a water brush pen. I'm not adding any extra water, but I do like that the brush does stay wet and it helps to pick up and move the pigment on the paper. I stamped this beautiful church from the Divine Dwellings stamp set from Unity Stamp Company in VersaFine Clair ink on some Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. Super easy, almost anybody can do this. Your watercolor is going to move differently on cardstock. It doesn't flow as well, it soaks in quite quickly and does wet the paper as well. So we want to make sure that we keep our water as minimal as possible so you don't get warping. And then you'll want to do light tapping of pigment. It's the tapping motion that will kind of create that watercolor look of variation on top of the paper because it doesn't spread and move on its own. So I did a layer of all my colors. I'm using frayed burlap, festive berries, crushed olive, and peeled paint. I let it dry and then I came back in and did a second layer of tapping so you get a bit of dimension in that color. I let that sit and dry, and then I came back in with this stencil. It's the Cloud and Wave stencil from Unity Stamp Company, and I'm just stenciling on some clouds using Salty Ocean. I like this stencil because it has 4 sides, and I just flip and turn and rotate it so I get a different look for each layer of clouds as I move down the card front. And I'm using a light motion. I'm really liking this color. It has a nice vibrant blue and it doesn't take a lot of ink to get that vibrancy. So I'm being very light-handed, starting on the stencil and then slowly moving up that color. Perfect. Now that I'm all done with coloring and stenciling, I'm going to die cut down my panel. And then I'm stamping the sentiment from Grow in Grace. It has this beautiful scripty sentiment that I thought would be perfect for a wedding card. Next, I'm just going to layer up some pattern paper. I have my card base covered in this kind of tan gingham pattern paper, and then 2 pieces from some Unity paper. I'll list those in my supplies. And I die cut those down to be the same size as my panel, layered those at an angle. And then I'm going to wrap some string around the center 3 times and just tie that into a knot. This is going to be the base for our multi-loop bow. So I just want to make sure I get a nice knot going, and then I'm going to position it where I want it on my card front. I'm just going to slide it down a little bit and over and make sure that the placement on the front of my card is in a good spot. So when I do my layering, my bow is going to be in the right place. Next, I'm going to wrap that twine around my fingers quite a few times. You can go as many as you want, and then lay down that circle of string and then tie another knot right on top. And that's going to create our multi-loop bow. Super easy and really pretty. Sometimes I leave 2 tails and sometimes I'll trim off 1 set, so I only have 1 set of tails. So it's really up to you and what you're feeling like for that day. I added some foam adhesive behind my panel. I wanted to make sure I left an open space over that string so I didn't get a bump. And then I added a few clear Nuvo drops just for a little bit of an accent. And here is the finished card. Thank you so much for creating with me today. Be sure to like and subscribe to catch all my future video tutorials. I hope you were inspired, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!